Hi, everyone. Welcome to Ceramics 1. My name is Allison Alter. I'm one of the art teachers here at Stamford High School, and I teach Ceramics 1 and 2 classes. I am also a Black Knight. I graduated from Stamford High, so I'm very happy and excited to be here teaching as well. I am also the advisor of the National Art Honor Society, which we have a Stamford High chapter here. And so if your student is interested in joining that, I let them know to reach out to me, but feel free to let them know as well. So, Ceramics 1 is a full year course. It's an introduction to ceramics hand building, cultural and historical connections to ceramic art. And we make a lot of connections to art in general and the design process as well, which we'll talk about later. So, what will students be doing in here? Learning about art, artists, cultures, and the ceramic process, building with clay, using tools and the techniques that I show them throughout the year. And a lot of problem solving goes on. Students tend to learn when something works or doesn't work and how to fix the problem. So that's a big part of our class. We also use the design process, which helps them in creating their works. Students have a sketchbook where they plan their artworks, which we created at the beginning of the year. So we do a lot of drawing as well to kind of get our ideas down before we turn it into our three-dimensional structures. And students make things that are useful and creative. So you'll get kind of a variety of projects that they make in here. And the last thing that we do, which is part of the design process, is reflecting on the works that they created. So when we're all done, we don't just put our artwork away or send it home. We actually reflect on what we made and how we made it, and if there are any connections to other artists or one another or other cultures. Students have the chance to kind of look at their classmates' artworks and see how everybody's artwork is different. So I think that's a really big component at the end of a project. So students learn, and they're learning right now, that the clay process is not a fast one. We don't just make things in here that are finished in one class period. The clay process is a long one. So students have been learning about the stages of clay, how it goes from being really, really soft to hard and permanent, and becoming the structures that are functional and able to be used. So all the projects we create in here are long-term projects. So students will be working on a project approximately a month or even more at times, depending how much time they need. And one of the things that I stress is craftsmanship. So again, we're not just throwing together the works, but students are taking their time, being patient, and learning the real tools for making successful projects and making projects that are smooth and even and just very precise. So again, that comes down to planning and preparing their ideas. So that way they're prepared and they can jump in and know exactly what they're doing. And then when they start the building process, then they're pretty much golden all the way through. And we also learn details down to trimming and really perfecting the projects. The projects are fired 2 times. So the first time they're fired without any glaze, which is the paint on it. And then the second time they're fired with the glaze. And that's when they become shiny and permanent. And they're really, really beautiful artworks. So where do you see your students' artworks? So the Stamford High display cases, which we have some on the 3rd floor. My classroom is located on the 6th floor, so I'm closer to the front of the building. And I have a display case outside of my classroom. So I'm really lucky to have that, so I'm able to display all your students' artworks there. We also have a yearly Stamford High art show, which I try to get as many students' ceramic pieces in as possible. And last year we had it virtual. This year I'm hoping that we're able to have it in person, but if not, we will have a show either way, whether it's virtual or in person. And we also have many contacts with the community as far as community art shows. We recently had an art show last year at the Stamford Mall. So that was really wonderful to have students' artworks displayed in a a real storefront display case. And there's also a variety of other shows and competitions that we are involved in as well. So, why learn ceramics? Ceramics overall, yes, it's a fun class, it's a relaxing class, and students are able to let their creativity go. But also, it improves their hand-eye coordination. It's an essential part of creating to actually learn how to build. And we become better observers. Students are able to look at the world around them. I have a lot of students look at resources, even just bringing in a piece of bark from a tree from outside to look at the texture, or looking up ideas on their Chromebooks. There's always ways of kind of looking at the world around us and then just bringing it back into um, our actual creations, and the textures behind them, and the structures as well. So in the long run, we become better observers, and we also transfer our ideas from our brains to a physical place. So it's really amazing to see the students' artworks turn from a drawing into their actual three-dimensional piece that they can hold. As far as grading goes, projects include 50% of the grade, so it's very important that students are in class every day because that's when we're working with the clay, and it's very difficult to make up a project if they are not in the classroom. So 50% of the grade is projects, and 30% is classwork. So that means any activities that we do, whether it's taking notes on a new subject, or whether it's planning out our projects, or learning about different tools and doing a worksheet. Those things are considered classwork. And then 20% is participation in class conduct. So at the end of the quarter, students will grade themselves, and I'll give them a grade as well, based on their effort, their behavior, and overall just class conduct, how they've been doing in the class. Have they come in late every day and not done anything, or have they been on their phone all class period, or have they done their work, and done the right thing and cleaned up after themselves? So students have learned the routine and procedures. So as long as everyone follows the directions, the 20% participation in class conduct should come very easily to the students. So again, attendance is important, and like I said, 99% is done in class. And if you have any questions, feel free to email me. My email address is aalter@stanfordct.gov, and I'm more than happy to answer your questions. And I just have one example here just to show you guys how a piece of clay, this is a piece of clay, can go into something beautiful and functional. So I'm looking forward to seeing what your students are making this year. They're already off to an awesome start, and I hope you guys enjoy the projects they make as well. Thank you. Have a good night.